Hey guys, this is a Warren Buffett little clip. It's a very old. It was from a seminar he was doing out of college, um, and they were talking about intrinsic value. And basically, intrinsic value is what the value of a stock is. To me, that's what value investing is. There used to be a theory that the market was efficient, and whatever the price of the market says that it is what it's actually worth. The last little rant I did was talking about the high housing prices. Like, those are not real. I mean, yeah, they're real to the people who actually get suckered into paying that, but why would you buy a house for $300,000 at 2% interest rate that's only worth $100,000? To me, it makes no sense at all. But if you know how to value a business, the game is very easy to play. I mean, if you know a company is worth $100 billion and the company is selling, you could buy the whole company tomorrow for $70 billion. You're getting a 30% discount to what the true intrinsic value of the company today is. And that company may in 20 or 30 years be 10 times as big as it is today. But anyway, I want to listen to Buffett talk about Aesop and the bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. And also he had said, I think a little earlier, basically, all it is to investing is, you're putting money in today to get more money in the future, and you want to know, how many birds are in the bush, how long does it take to get the money out of the bush, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and how sure are you? Are you 75% sure? Are you 100% sure? The beautiful thing about Berkshire Hathaway is they used to get like 20% returns, and it may not, as they get bigger, it's harder to get those stellar returns. But in my assumption, the company is going to get at least 10% probably for a long time, until they make a big blunder. My personal opinion is Apple is a blunder, but we'll see. I mean, they might be right. They've been right so far, but not selling your position when you've quadrupled up or whatever might be a mistake, in my opinion. But anyway, enough of me blabbering. I just want to hear Buffett say it with his own words.
Foresight, but Aesop, in between tortoises and hares and all these other things, he found time to write about, birds. And he said, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Now that isn't quite complete, because the question is, how sure are you that there are two in the bush, and how long do you have to wait to get them out? Now, he probably knew that, but he just didn't have time because he had all these other proverbs to write and had to get on with it. But he was halfway there in 600 BC. That's all there is to investing, is how many birds are in the bush, when are you going to get them out, and how sure are you? Now, if interest rates are 15%, roughly, you've got to get two birds out of the bush in 5 years to equal the bird in the hand. But if interest rates are 3%, and you can get two birds out in 20 years, it still makes sense to give up the bird in the hand, because it all gets back to discounting against an interest rate. Problem is, often you don't know, not only how many birds are in the bush, but in the case of the internet companies, there weren't any birds in the bush. But they still take the bird that you give them if in the hand. But I actually have written about this sort of thing, and stealing heavily from Aesop, who wrote it some 2,600 years ago, but I've been behind on my reading. And you all learn that in business school. But it's the same thing for a big business. If you buy Coca-Cola today, the company is selling for about $110 to $15 billion in the market. The question is, if you had 110 or 15 billion, you wouldn't be listening to me, but I'd be listening to you instead. But the question is, would you lay it out today to get what the Coca-Cola company is going to deliver to you over the next 200 or 300 years? The discount rate doesn't make much difference as you get further out. And that is a question of how much cash they're going to give you. It isn't a question of, it isn't a question of how many analysts are going to recommend it, or what the volume in the stock is, or what the chart looks like, or anything. It's a question of how much cash it's going to give you. That's the only reason. It's true if you're buying a farm. It's true if you're buying an apartment house. Any financial asset, oil in the ground, you're laying out cash now to get more cash back later on. And the question is how much are you going to get, when are you going to get it, and how sure are you? And when I calculate intrinsic value of a business, when we buy businesses, and whether we're buying all of a business or a little piece of a business, I always think we're buying the whole business, because that's my approach to it. I look at it and say, what will come out of this business and when? And what you really like, of course, is them to be able to use the money they earn and earn higher returns on it as you go along. I mean, Berkshire has never distributed anything to its shareholders, but its ability to distribute goes up as the value of the businesses we own increases. We can compound it internally, but the real question is, Berkshire selling for, we'll say, 105 or so billion.
Thanks for listening, guys.